It does seem as though we have tariffs now as Donald Trump's hammer for Mexico or meetings, and these are the various nails as he's using tariffs to hit down with, I suppose.
Well, central banks have been doing the same with interest rates and QE for a long time, and now politicians are realising the only tool they've got are tariffs. And so, yes, we're going to be seeing a lot more of them, I think, going forward.
Surely not. Surely not the only tool they have.
Well, they seem to be the only tool that's effective. I mean, there's lots of other tools they've got in the box, but can you think of one other particular policy that any other president or leader has rolled out in the past few years that's managed to affect the kind of dramatic changes that we've seen in the business and political landscape compared to tariffs? I can't.
What are you making of it all? I mean, we've sat here before, we've talked how many times that this is not just about the tariffs, this is about a narrative of hegemony and various other things and supremacy in the global order. How has that changed? And of course, since we last talked, it's become ramped up even more, the technology side of things.
Well, I think how it's changed that more and more people who a few years ago, a few months ago, maybe even a few weeks ago, weren't prepared to admit that it's about power and hegemony, as we were talking about just now, are waking up to that's exactly what it's about. Does that change it? No, other than that people are playing catch-up, but it's a very slow process. Once you realise that's true, OK, it changes how you see the world and how you see the markets. It doesn't accelerate this process. The US and China are not going to settle this at the G20, you know.
Are they going to do a deal or not? Is this the thing? Because it's almost as though they're painting themselves into a corner.
Well, both sides have painted themselves into a corner. Even if Trump does get Xi to meet him, and now he's raised the bar there, Xi, if he meets him, is seen as having somehow kowtowed to Trump by doing it, so he's painted himself into another corner even before we get to that corner. Were they to meet, what kind of things are they going to talk about? What deal can be struck, genuinely, realistically, that can sort these things out? I just simply don't see it.
Mike, Trump did say that China will make a deal because China has to. Does China have to make this deal when you take a look at the economy right now?
No, it doesn't. Look, the Chinese economy is in serious trouble. It was in trouble before this trade spat with the US. The trade spat with the US makes it much, much worse. But China is very, very determined to achieve what it wants to achieve, which is why we are heading towards this trade war in the first place. And China is not going to stop doing that simply because the US prods them and prods them and prods them. They will just double down or escalate, whatever analogy you want to use, and they're not going to change tactics. No matter what the US does, China isn't going to shift.